The top player in the transfer portal is off the board. Damien Martinez is taking his talents to South Beach and going to go play for the Miami Hurricanes. Big get for Miami. I think great fit for Damien Martinez. What does it mean, though, for the Canes in 2024? What's the impact of this commitment for the offensive side of the ball for Miami? And I think overall, just their macro aspirations. We'll talk about it right now. But first things first, Miami Hurricane fans. Make sure you're dialed in right here. We talk a lot about your football team. We talk about college football every single day on this very show. Got the nice matte black Miami helmet right here. Make sure you're dialed in, huh? Make sure you're keeping up with all things we got going on here, right here on this platform, the On3 YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at JDPikel. With that out of the way, let's talk about this commitment because this is a big-time get for Miami. I mentioned at the top, the top player, not just top running back, top player available in the transfer portal currently. Damien Martinez coming to Coral Gables by way of Oregon State, ran for 2,000 yards during his 2 years at Oregon State. Not a bad stat line for the better part of 2 seasons. Here's the big pro, if you will, for adding a Damien Martinez. Because yes, he's a dog and his numbers dictate as much, but with what Miami's going to have offensively, the Hurricane fans understand, like, this wasn't just the biggest ad they've had this entire transfer portal offseason between the winter window and this current window. They also added a quarterback, Cam Ward, who is going to light it up this upcoming fall. Now, the thing with that, if you have a quarterback back there and you're a one-dimensional offense and you can't run the football, defenses have a lot better chance at defending you because they can just key on the pass game. Well, now with Damien Martinez, if you don't show the proper amount of attention to the line of scrimmage and proper amount of players in that box, they are going to pound the rock and they are going to make you say uncle by nature of Damien Martinez running for 100 or $150 on the ground that day. That's just going to be the reality. And last year, Miami, don't forget, they were also really effective on the ground. Ran for 5 yards a carry as a team. Now, you lose Henry Parrish to Ole Miss, but the fact remains the same here. Adding Damien Martinez, you're pairing with Mark Flex from that running back room, they're going to be a physical outfit when it comes to running the football. And by nature of having that kind of approach offensively, they can also open it up some more with Cam Ward and keep defenses off balance. So that's massive for Shannon Dawson. That's massive for Cam Ward. It's massive for the wide receiver core. And I think the fit, quite frankly, for Damien Martinez is massive for him and his aspirations. Because we talk a lot about Shannon Dawson and his offensive scheme. He wants to have an air raid influence when it comes to them throwing the football downfield. But make no mistake about this, okay? Damien Martinez fits perfectly with how Shannon Dawson wants to run the football. Because they want to get the ball to guys in space. They want to challenge you horizontally for sure. But you watch how Miami ran the football last year. It is north and south. It is get off the tracks because the train is coming. And that's what they're going to be doing with Damien Martinez. And you watch the tape from him in Oregon State. He runs behind his pads. He's a smooth runner, but he's a vicious runner at the same time. Like, he runs violent, if you will. Not out of control, but violent, and he delivers contact. It's a big back now. I believe he's in the range of 220, 230. Like, you don't tackle him and not feel it the next morning, if you catch my drift. So for Miami, long-term, I said talk about their macro-level goals. It's no secret what they're trying to do here at Miami. Year 3 of the crystal ball era, they've been trending upward. They want to win the ACC and find themselves in that college football playoff. That's what this year is about. That's why you go get a Cam Ward. That's why you go get a Damien Martinez. And if you want to make the college football playoff, let's look back at that 4-team format we used to have. 3 of those 4 teams all were over 160 yards a game on the ground. 3 of those 4 teams made it a point to establish a physical identity pounding the rock. All right. Now, Washington was also effective running the football. They didn't really do it quite as much because they had 3 NFL wide receivers and an NFL quarterback. But the point remains the same. What I'm trying to say here is if you want to compete at the highest level and compete for national titles and conference titles, more often than not, it requires having an ability to pound the rock on the ground. And on a greater on a greater scale, rather, to compete for national championships, you got to be versatile with how you can score on teams. Because we know this, man. In college football, there's going to be some days where it's just not your day. You might have the better roster. You might have the better game plan. But for whatever reason, the ball bounces a funny way. It's a funny shape, and weird things happen. So what happens when the game gets weird? you lean on your physicality. You take other variables out of it as much as possible in the pass game, and you hand the ball to your big running back, Damien Martinez, and that's how you get out of there with a win. It might be ugly. You might not cover the spread. It might be low scoring. Doesn't matter, because you rode Damien Martinez for, again, probably a pretty solid day on the box score, but he also probably controlled the tempo of that game and takes the pressure off of your quarterback and the other variables. Your defense gets a break because he's moving the ball downfield. Like, you hear what I'm saying. I'm extrapolating a lot from this commitment, but I think it truly is a game changer schematically for how Miami can attack teams offensively in 2024. And I think it changes, in some ways, it adds some more firepower, some more rocket fuel to what they're going to be and aspire to when it comes to their long-term goals. So get at me on the socials, at JD Pickell, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed here, all that good stuff. Let me know how you feel about Damien Martinez heading into the year. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.